All right, so we're gonna change the engine oil on my 2017 Audi A4 B9. This is a 2.0 4-cylinder turbo engine. More specifically, this is the DBPA engine that I have in mind. The oil weight that I use for this particular engine, as per Audi, the weight's gonna be 0W20, right? 020. This is the filter that I'm gonna use. This is from Audi. I got the oil from Audi. I couldn't really find this weight anywhere else. The filter as well, so I saved myself the trouble and got everything. That's how much it ran me. So in case you're interested to see how much, let me zoom in. There it is, 73.37 for the 6 quarts. And the filter from Audi, which isn't too bad. So I am going to siphon my oil out. I'm not gonna go underneath a car like this is 1910 and do it that way, okay? I'm gonna do it this way. This is a lot easier for me. It's a lot more practical and more efficient in my specific situation. I'm on a time crunch. I gotta go pick up my kids and shit. I ain't got time to mess around. So, but you can jack it up the old school way, and there is a plastic plug in the oil pan that you replace, and the dealership will give you that as well. I think that was like 10 bucks. But I don't like doing it that way. So yeah, and the way you can tell which oil weight your particular engine uses is you got to look for the engine code. So you can either look for it here, which is right there. That's a timing chain cover, and you'll see how it says DBP. So that's mine. And if also if you can't find it there, yours is just super dirty, you come to the back of your vehicle where the spare tire is. You lift it up and it'll tell you right there. You see where it says engine code DBPA. So yeah, that's how you find your engine code. You search it up, see which weight, which specification your engine uses, and you go from there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just skip to the next part and just start the oil change so you guys can see how I do it. So to actually take the oil out, it's real simple. Get a 32 millimeter socket. That's gonna be used for the oil filter housing cover right there. So all you do is just throw it on top there, get your ratchet, the oil filler cap, loosen it up, take it off, just place it right there. And then you're gonna remove this little cap here from where your dipstick would go. Put it somewhere, you won't forget it. So all you do is just kind of crack this a little bit. The oil filter cap, crack it open, let all the oil go down to the bottom of the oil pan. And then you're gonna stick your tube here, this one, where the dipstick would go. Nice and easy. And again, you don't want your engine too hot, you know, when you do this, because you take the possibility and the risk of this melting in there. So if you've been driving your engine, let it cool down for about an hour or two. And like I said, just kind of go in there nice and slow, not too much pressure. So at this point, you're gonna meet a little bit of resistance, right? And from experience, I know I'm not all the way in. So once you meet the resistance, you're gonna push down a little bit and you're gonna hear it click. Let me see if you can hear it. Just real easily. You know, not too much force, just kind of guide it in there. There. You feel it, and it'll let you advance maybe about an inch more. And every inch matters, baby. So just put it in there. All right, take it out a little bit. There we go. Okay, that way the bottom of the tube is not completely pressed against the bottom of the oil pan, right? So there you're in. That way we can get everything out, as much as we can at least. Next, we take the top of this, of the pump. We plug it into the top there. Let me see if I can get it. All right, plug it in like this. Make sure it's nice and snug in there. All right, and then you just plug them in. So you see how the bottom is like that? Just plug it in like this. Dude, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but there. Plug it in. I gotta get like a tripod or some shit. But yeah, let me put this down so you guys can see. All right. You guys can see me there. All right, so all you're doing is this, right? You plug it in, push it in, and you hold the bottom tube in place. That way you don't advance it further. So just hold it, and it doesn't have to go all the way through. But if you think you push it down, just give it a little push down. You can feel it. And if you think you're too far in, then just pull it up a little bit. There. And we're good, right? All right. So now that we're in, from here, this is the setup, right? We cracked the oil filter. So now what we do, push a little kickstand out here, like that, and we start pumping. Start pumping away. So you just pump, and you'll see the oil start coming out. You see that? And we should get 5.5 quarts or so. You know, your engine might be burning some oil, but that's how we do this. So I'm gonna cut it here, and then I'll show you guys what to do next. Just keep pumping, and you can hear the oil coming down. You can hear it. And I marked it on mine, so I can turn it around. Right there, you see that's the quarts. So it typically comes out to around 5.5, right there. You can just do this one hand, just keep pumping it, nice and easy. It's a lot easier with two hands, but for the sake of trying to show you guys, trying to save you some time, this is how you do it. Just keep doing it like this till you no longer see oil coming through this tube right here, just like that. Or till you hear it stop coming out, then that means you're good. Okay, so like I was explaining, this is a small tube, right? So you're gonna see the oil come up. You're gonna see it black. That's the oil in there. So what you keep doing, you just keep pumping it, and just make her whistle a little bit, just like that. Okay, nice and easy. And you'll hear the fluid coming down. So you want to do this intermittently. Couple times, give it a couple pumps like that, and you'll hear it, and you'll continue to see the oil coming through. So once that's done, at about, like I said, 5.5 to 6 quarts, you can go ahead and start putting the oil in. All right, so once it starts nearing towards the end, you'll notice it does this little number here. It'll start kind of, you know, sputtering, and that's how you can tell you're getting close to getting all the oil out. And as you'll see, it'll start clearing from the line. Doesn't look all dark in there. And you'll hear that noise. And right now I'm at 5 quarts. So, 5.5. So I'm almost getting there. But just so you guys can see what it looks like when you're getting towards the bottom of getting all the oil out. Okay, so as you can tell, it's done. There's no more oil coming out. So just get a bag, something that, you know, kind of catch the oil, the residual oil when you pull this out. So all you do is just separate the big tube and just try to catch it. See that oil coming out? Then take the little one out, nice and easy. Just like that. Put it in the bag, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the oil filter. So you get your socket, loosen it up, take it off, just like that. You can hand loosen it and then just kind of have a rag ready, because you're gonna have a bunch of oil coming out of everywhere. So it's nice and loose. Get the filter, put it on the bag, and there it is. All right, so the oil filter's out. So pretty much all you do is just pop it out. It's gonna be a little hard with one hand, but pop it out, throw it in the bag, it'll just fall in there. Okay, and then also you're gonna have to change out this O-ring that's right here. I don't know if you guys see it. So just kind of get a little screwdriver. I have a butter knife, as you can tell, so just kind of wedge it in there like so, and then just take it out. And I guess I'm trying to do this one hand, so it's kind of hard, and I'm sorry about my shitty camera work. I'm not a pro at this by any means, so I do apologize. But you take this off, the O-ring's out. Okay, this is the old one. Throw it in the bag. Put your butter knife down, you're not making toast. Then from here, you get your new O-ring. You put that back on in the space there, just like that. Put your new filter in. Make sure it's nice and snug. There, you will hear the little click. And then, like I said, O-rings in. Put it back in there. Screw it on nice and you don't have to put it on too tight. You know, just kind of snug. And then from there, you put your oil in. So old filter's out. Just pop it out. The O-ring as well. You see this rubber band right there? That's called the O-ring. That's gonna help seal everything when you put the oil filter back in there in the housing. Have a couple of spare towels ready because you could have residual oil coming out of everywhere. So yeah, all it is, oil filter pops out, the old one. Try to do this one hand. So it pops out, you'll pop it in. You will hear a little click. Put the O-ring back in, right? You can kind of just double check it, make sure it's in properly, it's seated properly. You go ahead and put this back in there. Put your oil filter back in there, right? Hand tighten it as much as you can. All the way, hand tight. You'll start hearing it wind up like that. Okay? And then from there, grab a rag, hand tight, hand tight. Again, you don't want to over torque this because you'll crack it and you have to buy the new part and start leaking oil everywhere. And that'll be a nightmare. So just kind of hand tighten it with the rag over the actual oil filter housing, and that should be more than enough. And if you still don't feel comfortable, just put your socket back on there, and then just a little tiny amount of torque. Just, you know, you probably should use a torque wrench, but I don't have one. And there, that should not give you any problems. And again, obviously when you put the oil in and you start it up and let it warm up, you want to just kind of come over here and make sure that there's no oil leaking here. Again, you close your filler cap. Well, that's not yet, that's after we put the oil. But yeah, you just kind of make sure, run your finger around here, make sure it's tight. At least that's what I do. If you feel any uneven space there, you know, you got to retake it out and rethread it. But it looks good. I'm ready to put the oil in now. I'm going to show you guys that. All right, so the capacity for my engine is 5.5 quarts, and that's typically what it is for the majority of these engines. Again, my specific weight is 0W20. I have the DBPA engine in my 2017 A4. So I'll go ahead and put the 5.5 quarts in. I'll start her up, let her warm up. I'll come underneath the hood, kind of inspect for any oil leaks, see if I might have messed up or anything. But once you're done, like I said, you just check the oil filter housing, make sure it's good, make sure there's no oil leaking there. You tighten up the filler cap on there till you hear the clicks, and that's it, guys. You're done. It's pretty simple. I apologize for my shitty camera work. I don't do this at all, but I got a couple messages in regards to how I did my oil change, so this is how I do mine. If you have any questions, just send me a message or comment, and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thanks. All right, and for the ones that don't know how to check their oil level, it's all good, I got you. So turn the car on to the start position. You don't turn the actual engine on, just turn to the start position. Just get in, don't hold the brake, push the button. Over here, you just go ahead and click the back arrow, go all the way back. You go to, describe that big ass black hole on my screen, that's the sun. You go to vehicle, go back, you go to service, service and checks, oil level. And there we go. So this is after I let the engine run, after changing everything, putting new oil in, the 5.5 quarts, changing the oil filter. I let it run in my garage, obviously with the garage open, for about 2 to 3 minutes. Let it warm up a little bit, turn it off, and it'll tell you that the engine has to be cooled down for 2 minutes on a surface level. So once you let it cool down on a surface level for 2 minutes, do what I just told you to do. Check the oil, and if it looks like that, then you're solid. All right.